dusted off nice and close to the ramp to get back in. So hopefully nothing too major, but like we say, better be safe than sorry, so we can carry on.
All right, well, that'll be interesting. We'll get some news on that as we go to round 2 of our unlimited category. This will be Sam Newdick and Sharma Puchanui, the PSB Clearview machine. Of course, the engine from Magnum Automotives. And Sam Newdick, after being out of the sport for 18 months, nearly 2 years, in fact, until Glenn Head offered him the B drive down at Wanaka, and he just drove like he never stepped away from it for a second. And here today already, qualifying round number 2, this new engine, well, seems to be going okay from what we're seeing at the moment.
Oh, he's looking pretty sharp indeed. Of course, Sharma doing the navigational duties there for the PSP racing team of Sam Newdick and Sharma Puchanui. This is going to be a great time to kick this off, KV. Absolute 44.343. Man.
And it looked relaxed as
Didn't
well.
it just?
That boat, we are going to look at a high 30-second, 38-second, low 39-second run by the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's the prediction in the unlimited class.
You heard it here, folks. So if you're a gambling person, if you're a betting man, betting lady, jump on the TAB. No, just kidding. Just kidding. But if you've got a groupie up there on the bank, run a sweepstake. Why not? Run a sweepstake between the crew to who pick the winner of Group B, Group A, and of course our super boats. But if we do go to a time of 39 or 38 seconds, man, we are going to be in for some great action.
Yeah, it'll be absolutely red hot. So Kyle Patrick now, the American, Darren Todd, the Kiwi, Kyle behind the helm. The man has shipped the boat over at the start of the season, and he has been flying in and out for every round, massive amount of effort and doing a wonderful job. Darren Todd, of course, local here, and he's been doing all of the engine work along with the Stinger sprint boats as well. So lots and lots of work going into this boat. A lot of support there for Kyle Patrick, Psycho Racing, the twin turbo Chev out of Portland, Oregon.
And of course, a big shout out to their sponsors, C&L Custom Machinery, Albany Acupuncture, Positive Electric, and Vickers Aircraft. So, look, mate, that's commitment. I mean, I know we get you over here from Australia, but to come out...
Kyle Patrick ran it so wide down there. I tell you, that would have got the heart going for both driver and navigator. Interestingly, during qualifying 1, he ran wide down there as well. But Kyle Patrick, a multiple US champion, instead of just dragging on the wheel to try and get himself out of trouble, it's that experience that kept him in the water. Only by the hair of his chinny chin though, I might add.
Yeah, that's okay. Like you say, would have been a bit hard through the mouth sort of stuff, but really good recovery to come out of that corner and maintain the speed too. Maintain the speed, and as he comes through, we'll pick up that finish time, and 48.581. I think he might stick to going wide on that corner, mate. Just not quite that wide, though.
Yeah, just bring it in a couple of inches. Kyle been flying, as we said, in and out for every round. What we saw down at Wanaka, the boat just not settled at all. They just couldn't quite get everything matching, the engine, the jet unit. They just couldn't quite get it there. So we'll hope that this round is the round for our mate from America, who making such a big effort. You don't want to see anybody go badly, but you know, when you're putting in that effort, you kind of got that extra. Come on, mate. You know,
exactly,
we really
mate.
want you to give it a crack.
That's dead right. Now, talking about giving it a crack, mate, and he has done all season, is our next one on the water. I think it'll be the boat number 69 of Ruben Hoxima and Jacob Wood. Now, if you remember back last year, folks, those that follow us religiously there, he was a bit nervy, and way back in Hastings there had this real slow lap time, but man, has he improved out of the water somewhat.
Well, interestingly, Wanaka last round, he came around a bottom corner and there was grass to the outside of the boat. Like, he came in that tight, a few little reeds popping up the outside. I thought for sure he was going to throw it into the fence. He said, didn't touch a thing.
Far out,
it
really.
Was just, it was a bit of a mistake, and the probably one of the only corners in the New Zealand series that you could do that on without actually hitting the dirt. So very, very fortuitous indeed.
So, mate, we've just been handed the times for Group A, and of course topping that with a 47.021 was Ross Travers. and didn't look like he was putting any effort in either. So, you know, that's going to be interesting. Right on his back door, though, Sean and Faye Rice, and our international Paddy Hayden, our international superstar ex-driver that's been around the sport for 100 years with a 48.648. So now, I'll tell you who'll be taking all the credit for that will be Jay.
Yeah, look, no doubt about that. Yep. No doubt at all. So, Ruben Hoxima, this is a Toyota Supra engine in it, and it's got an interesting mix of fuel. And I'm not sure of the exact numbers, but apparently it's about 60% methanol, 40% pump fuel, and then it has 100 millilitres of oil, similar to a two-stroke engine due to the nature of this particular engine. So if you get a bit of a sweet smell, that's the oil that's in the fuel mixed with the methanol and the pump gas.
You can almost hear the faint sound of a two-stroke, like it's a big chainsaw on water, right? So as he swings around that, oh, very smooth, very, very smooth from these guys. And he'll pick up this, oh, look at that, nice and wide as he comes back through to pick up the finish time. That's going to be a good one for him too, 49.511. He'll be happy with that because you can only get better from that, right? So
leaps and bounds, this young man, considering it's his, you know, had a couple of races last season. So,
of course, last year, Rookie of the Year, you know, so he was Rookie of the Year last year because of his performance on the water. So, mate, and of course, he's podiumed a couple of times as well. So, you know, he's going really well for his second season behind the wheel.
Yeah, he's in the mix for a championship podium overall by the end of the season, because the 8th of March we're in Waitra, 4th of April we're down in Wanganui. That'll be the final round. So still got to get through today first, and that's when we start moving into the final two races of the season. That's when there's a lot of shuffling, a lot of thought, work out where it's all going to go. Our timekeeper's got to work out all of the points and get all of that set. But we're now just waiting for Scotty Donald, Wicked 2, leading the championship with Nicole Reesby as the navigator here. And pairing from Featherston, mate, they've had 2 podiums out of 3, so they're not going too bad.
They'll be good, mate. And talking about workhorses before, mate, cast your eyes. I can see on the big screen there, I think Grant will get it on his pictures, young Robbie over there with the blue clipboard standing on the edge of the boat ramp. That man is a machine. I'll tell you what, mate, they almost call him God here because everybody listens to him and nobody messes with him.
Yeah, well, he's a life member of the New Zealand Jetsprint Association, has been involved in jet sprinting since its inception.
Well, there you go.
So
almost as old as you, mate.
Oh, just about, mate. He actually runs a bakery. I'm just trying to think of the name of the town, just out of Wanganui there somewhere. I'll get back to you. No, I'll get back to you. It's an easy one. I'll
tell you what, when we're convoying through to Waitra, mate, we better stop there on the way when we're going up to the next round.
Oh, yeah, I'll get back to you on where the bakery is. I can't, off the top of my head.
You've given it to me now, mate. You know what I'm like with bakeries.
Yeah, and he does it. I've heard he does a great pie. So Scotty Donald, in the first qualifying run, came out of the blocks quite well. And down at Wanaka, we saw him go wrong way during qualifying round 1. We saw him go wrong way in qualifying 3, and he just lost that edge. He lost that confidence. So you're second guessing himself, both he and Nicole. So interesting to see how this is going to unfold for them today. So far, qualifying 1, rotation A-OK. At this point, it's looking pretty good for qualifying round number 2. So traditionally speaking, if Scotty Donald gets the first 3 qualifying runs sorted out, gets the rotation right, doesn't make a mistake, you see bigger and better things from him. And that's a good indication of a good race day for Scotty Donald, 46.428.
I mean, what more can we do? What more can we do, he'll be saying. What more can we do, David? I mean, this is, you know, like you say, they get out there, they take the first round, nice and easy, cool, we got that, no issue. Round 2, we start putting the foot down, got the rotation sorted. So look out qual 3 and 4, because that's where it's starting to, it'll certainly start to heat up, that's for sure.
So just waiting for Glenn Head in the L-Therm Window Systems machine, also brought to you by Lucas Oils. The twin turbo of Glenn Head, of course, HRE engines, head race engines, does all of the work himself. And interesting fact, he's put 20 barrels of methanol through that engine and hasn't had it completely stripped down. So that is...
So it's a 208 litre drum of methanol that he would be putting, and he's done 20 of those without touching anything. That is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's quite sensational. So Glenn Head and Hayley Todd, reigning New Zealand champions. Former world champion is Glenn Head in the unlimited category. And, well, what we've been seeing with Glenn is he's certainly not going to break the sound barrier in the second qualifying run. He just gets better and better and better as the day wears on. Doesn't push it too hard in these early rounds.
No, you did right there, Cavey, but he's always puts on a good spectacle. You see he starts to put the foot down now. He was a bit hesitant in qualifying one, like you say, just getting used to the track, used to the rotation. The boat was wanting more speed. He just wasn't ready to give it. But as we can see now, he's quite prepared to put the foot down a wee bit more, and it's a great split time there, 2:25.3 as he heads around towards us now. And oh, mate, this is looking pretty smooth on the water indeed.
Yeah, no doubt about that, and certainly not pushing it too hard. So Glenn Head and Hayley Todd with a 44.853, and that was an easy one for him.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Like we say, he wasn't even trying. The foot wasn't flat to the floor. Probably about halfway, I would say.
Yeah, no, very timid there. So it looks as though we are just about ready to go to Group B. So Sam Newdick leading that one, and Glenn Head in two. We'll just take a short break. Back in a sec.